You were tricked, you were scammed, you were bamboozled. Necromunda Underhive Wars is an early access game that they are launching as a full title, and it is not ready. My name is Blackjack, and welcome to my review of Necromunda Underhive Wars. Necromunda Underhive Wars is a skirmish game that is based in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Now you may know this company, Rogue Factory, made a skirmish game called Mordheim, which was a fantasy skirmish game from the Warhammer Fantasy universe. This is the sci-fi equivalent, I guess. It's different, but it's the closest thing that we have. And they've done the same thing that they've done with Mordheim, which is they took the setting and they took the aesthetic and they made a different game and they put that skin over it, and it is a good game. Mordheim is a fun fantasy skirmish game that happens to be a Warhammer game. Then the same thing has happened here with Necromunda. It's a sci-fi skirmish game that happens to have the aesthetic and the skin and the looks of Necromunda. And that really does it for me. I think they did a fantastic job with the looks. The environments look amazing. They look as if they went to stores and bought model kits and then designed the levels using these model kits. The character models look like miniatures. They look more detailed than miniatures. There's You know, I look at an Escher in this game, and I'm like, that looks like an Escher model, but they've definitely taken their own style and added things and done their own interpretation of what a servo claw would look like, or what a power axe or sword looks like, and they did a really good job with this. It feels and it looks and it smells and it tastes like Necromunda. And that's about where the positives end. The game itself is not ready. The AI is bad. There's really no other way of putting it. In the story mode, which is about 15 missions, I believe, I haven't gotten all the way through it. It's really slow. The AI is okay. They make decisions based on the scenario. That's not terrible. Sometimes they make not like great ones, but they work. You take it into free play mode and the AI falls apart. There was a mission where I was protecting some goods in my base, and the AI got into my base, and they wanted to steal the goods, but the AI couldn't figure out how to get out of the base, because there was no available path for them. And if the AI in the campaign system free play is bad, you're not going to want to play it. So is the multiplayer good? Yeah, playing against another human is fine. There's no issue. The game works great for that. But if you're a solo player playing this campaign, it's broken. The AI is just not a challenge because it doesn't know what it's doing. There are bugs. There are lots of bugs. The game has crashed on me multiple times. I've had characters get stuck. Not stuck as in though they can still move around and like they're just like in an area trapped by geometry. No, they literally could not move. I don't know why. There are things that I just don't understand why they are in the game. There's an abundance of stats. And this is a good and a bad thing. It gives you a lot of customization for your characters. Each of your characters will be unique in their skills and their injuries and their goods and their bads. But there's so much. There's so much that it makes me wonder if it's too much. Do we need armor pieces that have specific types of damage resistance to the 3 damage types in the game? Maybe yes. Do we also need bleeding status, acid status, cryogun status, but yet there's no burn from the flamer? That's weird. Maybe I missed that, but that feels wrong. The weapons look good. they sound okay. When you shoot them, they feel like you're shooting a fucking water gun. If a las cannon, a weapon that is made for destroying tanks, does 57 damage to a ganger who is wearing a t-shirt, and they have 150 health left over after that, that's wrong. A las cannon should leave a scorched fucking crater where that man was standing, not a Juve with a knife who has 150 health left over. And this slows the game down. The bad AI slows the game down. You have to watch every movement that these AI are making. Beyond that, it takes forever to kill the AI because your weapons are wet noodles. And then you get halfway through a mission, and it bugs, and it crashes, and you have to do it all over again. You have to watch all of those enemy turns again, and you have to shoot them 4 times with the las cannon so that you can kill one of their members. This is not a good game experience. This is a terrible game experience. This is not something that someone is going to want to come back to. I'm surprised I got as far as I did. I played about 15 hours so far. I've gotten to mission 11 of 15. I've played a couple of the free game modes. I've played multiplayer. And the only time I really was enjoying myself was in those multiplayer games. Because I didn't have to wait on an AI, I was waiting on a human being, and that's normal. I'm used to that. For playing a board game, the other person's taking their time with their turn, that's fine. But when the AI is stuck on a wall and running for 3 minutes, and I have to watch that before they decide, oh, I can't figure out a way to go, so I'm just gonna sit prone and overwatch. That sucks. That's awful. That's just not fun. So, Necromunda Underhive, it looks good. It feels good. Like the environment and the aesthetic feel good. But gameplay is bad. Everything works, kind of. Everything feels like there's a point, but that it just wasn't finished. That it wasn't ready. That they figured we'll release it and then fix it. And if this was released as early access like Mordheim was, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But releasing this game as a full title, as Necromunda Underhive Wars, as a, what is it, a full priced, it's something like that. It's $40, so it's not a full price game. But it's still $40 for a quote-unquote finished game, which it is not. So can I recommend this to you? I really desperately want to. If you are a fan of skirmish video games, and you are a die-hard fan of Necromunda, and you're going to play this with other human beings, then I recommend it. But if you are playing this as someone who's not super familiar with Necromunda, maybe you like Warhammer, you like digital skirmish games, avoid this. Avoid this game for a year. Maybe it'll be finished then, maybe it'll be patched then, maybe it'll be a full title in a year. But at its current stage, I and many other people were tricked into buying an early access game marketed as a full title. And that is unacceptable, and you should not buy this game. I'm sorry. I want to like it. I love Necromunda, and I think it looks great. But it's just not a finished game. My name's been Blackjack, and maybe I'll see you in the Underhive. But probably not.